Hi guys. Okay. Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Erin Kara Christabel and I'm from English Literature from 20 and 21. So today I'm going to present about the dynamics of Pancasila in the history of nations. Okay, let's start. First, we have the dynamics of Pancasila in the history of the nation. We have the introduction, and then we have basic values of Pancasila in the history of nations. The third, we have formulation and approval of Pancasila. And then last, we have dynamics of Pancasila. Okay. First, we talk about Jas Merah. What is the reality of the development of Pancasila? Every nation has its own history, and a great nation is a nation that respects the history of the nations. Therefore, as Indonesian citizens, we must understand and appreciate the history of the Indonesian nations. Pancasila as the basis and ideology of the state was the political agreement of the founding fathers when the Indonesian state was founded. However, in the long journey of the nation's life, Pancasila often experienced deviation in actualization of its values. Deviation from the practice of Pancasila can be in form of additions, subtractions, and deviations from the supposed meaning. Pancasila was originally from the values of Indonesians for Indonesian people, specifically custom and religion. As the ideology of the country, Pancasila does not tend to be closed or static towards innovation. Pancasila is open, like dynamic, and able to adapt along with the times and innovation. Next. We have the Sriwijaya Empire. For the Sriwijaya Empire, we have first principle, second principle, third principle, fourth principle, and fifth principle. So we talk about the first principle. Side by side between Hinduism and Buddhism. And then second principle, we have sending students to India on base to strengthen the relationship. For the third principle, we have application of the concept of islands. Fourth principle, we have extensive sovereign Siam and Malay Peninsula. And the fifth principle, people property through service and trade channels. Next, we have the fundamental value of Pancasila in the nation history. First, we have the Kingdom of Majapahit. First principle, Hinduism and Buddhism live side by side peacefully. And then the second principle, the relation with foreign kingdoms like China, Ayodhya, Kampa, and Cambodia in the period of Hayam Wuruk. The third principle, the wholeness of the kingdoms, especially through the Palapa oaths. Fourth principle, the value of deliberation in the government order. And in the fifth principle, we have the establishment of the sustained kingdoms by the welfare of people. Okay. Next, we have Pancasila formulation and approval. First, we have chronology of formulation on September 7th, 1944. The process of formulating and ratifying of Pancasila began when Indonesia was still colonized by Japan, seen in the trial of the investigate body. The background of the establishment of the investigate body. Japan suffered defeat, pressure, and attack from the Allies. There were demands and pressure from the leaders to the Japanese force to give Indonesia its independence, or at least took action regarding the matters. On September 7, 1944, Japan released an assurance of Indonesian independence in the future that was planned on August 24, 1945. Next, this is the formation of PPUPKI. Prime Minister Koiso announcement the promise of independence on September 7, 1944. The Japanese Empire hereby announced the future independence of all Indonesian people. Okay. And then, following the defeat from the Allies, the Emperor of Japan, Jino Heike, on April 29, 1945, promised to reward Indonesia with unconditional independence. This promise was delivered a week before their surrender. With the announcement of Kun Seikan, highest civilian authority of the Japanese military government in Java, Madura, number 23. And then last we have with the Kun Seikan edict on 29 April 1945, the Indonesian Independence Preparatory Agency, or PPUPKI, was officially formed in the Japanese called Dokuritsu Junbi Josakai. Next. The second, we have on April 29, 1945, the governor of the government of the Japanese army in Java, Karl Kun Seikan, formed the Dokuritsu Junbi Josakai, or we call it Badan Penyelidik Usaha-Usaha Persiapan Kemerdekaan atau BPUPKI, whose task was to investigate everything regarding the preparation for Indonesian independence. Third, we have on May 28, 1945. PPUPKI was inaugurated by Kun Seikan, chaired by Dr. Rajiman Widyodiningrat. Then for fourth, we have on May 29 until 1 June 1945. PPUPKI's first meeting on May 29 until June 1, 1945, preparing the basic draft of the State of an Indonesian Pancasila, of an independent Indonesia. Professor Mr. Muhammad Yamin proposed a proposal entitled Basic Principle of the Republic of Indonesia, which consists of national values, humanity values, divinity values, populist values, and people's welfare. And there are other figures who took part in contributing ideas, such as Prof. Dr. Mr. R. Supomo, P.F. Dahlan Dr. Andes Muhammad Hatta. The composition of PPUPKI's leadership and membership investigating committee for preparatory work for Indonesian independence. The chairman is Dr. Rajiman Widyodiningrat. The young chairman is R.P. Suroso, Ichi Bakase, orang Jepang, like Japanese people, Japanese person. And the members, as you can see in here, there are a lot of members. I think this has like 60 members. You can read it. Okay. And then the process of formulating Pancasila on May 29, the speech of Muhammad Yamin on 29 May, the principal foundations of Indonesian with the following formulation, like nationality, humanity, divinity, democracy, and social welfare. B. The Supomo speech at 31 May 1945. According to Noto Susanto, the basic for an independent Indonesian proposed by Prof. Supomo as are follows. First, unity, and then kinship, balance of soul and heart discussions, people justice. And then we have speech of Insinyur Soekarno on 1st June 1945. In the BPU PKI session, Soekarno proposed 5 fundamental principles of the state, like specifically we have Indonesian nationality, internationalist, consensus, and then we have social welfare, and then last we have culture divinity. And then 5, there are 1 June on 1945, you can see in here, and then on 6, we have on June 22, 1945. We have the Commit of 9 meeting on June 22, but Commit of 9 is a small commit that consists Insinyur Soekarno, Muhammad Hatta, Mr. A.A. Maramis, Mr. Muhammad Yamin, Abu Kusno, Cokro Sujoso, Haji Agus Salim, Wahid Hasim, Abdul Kahar Muzakim, and then Ahmad Suparjo. In this meeting, 9 commits reached an agreement that was applied in Jakarta Charter. In the last part of the script from Jakarta Charter, it has the basic formulation of the state as follows. First, believe in the one and only God. Second, a just and civilized humanity. Third, unity of Indonesia. And then we have democracy or led by the wisdom of the representative of the people. And then last, we have social justice for all Indonesian people. And then this one is the formulation process of UUD 1945 from 10 until 16 July 1945. You can read in here. Okay. So 10 until 16 July 1945. On the 10th July of 1945, Insinyur Soekarno, as the head of the committee, gave several reports. Like 32 proposals have been proposed, or 9 groups of proposals from 40 members. On the 22 June of 1945, it was decided to form a small committee called Panitia 9. His success compiling the plan of basic preamble law like Piagam Jakarta. And then B, we have on the 11 July of 1945, at the exact same day, the Committee of Basic Law Planner, Panitia Perancang Hukum Dasar, decided form the Committee of Declaration of Human Rights. The entire constituent agreed to the unitaries, and then the content of preamble was not just words. The country will be led by one person. Okay. And then on July 13, on July 14, we have like okay, and then on July 15 and 16 July, on July and 16, we have this one, as you can see in the screen. Okay, we have the next. Okay. August 9, 1945, PPKI was formed. On August 9, 1945, PPKI is a body formed by Japanese government, but it's not an instrument of Japanese government because PPKI worked after Japan was no longer in power. PPKI work of the basis of belief through and its own way to achieve the independence of independent Indonesia. PPKI was an embodiment and representative body of the Indonesian people. On August 17, 1945, the proclamation of Indonesian independence, and then on August 18, 1945, at 10:30, the plenary session began to discuss the draft basic law and the ratification of the constitution. That's a lot. Okay. We have the Pancasila ratification process, the formation of PPKI in order to from PPKI Engineer Soekarno, Dr. Andes Muhammad Hatta, Dr. Hajiman left for second at the summons of General Terauchi. According to Soekarno, General Terauchi on August 9, 1945 gave him 3 stamps, namely, Soekarno was appointed chairman of the PPKI. The preparatory committee can start work on August 9, and then fast or not, the work of the committee is left entirely to the committee. So, as you can see in the screen, this is the members of PPKI. The PPKI has 21 members. You can read it, guys. Okay. And then this one, the ratification of the basic Pancasila of the Republic of Indonesia. We have 1 and 2, like the proclamation as the culmination point of the Indonesian nations become an Indonesian state essentially contains, meaning it is the culmination of the history, and then the Declaration of Independence is essentially a notification to the Indonesian nation and international community that the Indonesian nation has fully sovereign independence. That's a lot, but it's okay. And then we have the proclamation of the independence of the Indonesian state gives start to the Republic of Indonesia in a situation of emergency quick harm. The fourth, we have the proclamation of Indonesia is a joint declaration and statement to remove the colonial rule. Fifth, we have the proclamation in basis of mental quality and the best ideals of the Indonesian nations and state to realize the Indonesian personality, which determines the establishment of the state Indonesia. So this is the ratification of the basic Pancasila of the Republic of Indonesia. As you can see in the screen, okay. In the draft preamble to the Indonesian Constitution in 4th paragraph. And then the use of basic law replaced by basic enactment. And then third, we have an in sentence based on divinity with the obligation to carry out Islamic law for its adherence according to the basis of humanity. It is also stated in 4th paragraph that series essential composition of the Indonesian state, namely Pancasila, are presented in the following order: to live in one supreme God, and then we have justice and civilized humanity, the unity of Indonesia, the democracy led by understanding wisdom among honorable representative from the Parliament House, and then last we have social justice for all of the people of Indonesia. It's And is the Pancasila valid and correct composition in order to that latter become the foundation of the Republic of Indonesia? Okay, we have the dynamics of Pancasila. Pancasila is the fundamental ideology of Indonesia. Pancasila consists of words like Panca is the meaning of Panca is 5, and the Sila is principles. The first to fifth principle are related. So Pancasila has an ideology which is a comprehensive and in-depth view or value system on how to be right and just, as well as how to regulate behavior on various aspects of life. Then ideologies can be divided into two categories in general, like closed ideology and open ideology. So this is the okay, as you can see the screen, this is the meaning of closed ideology, and this is the characteristic, as you can see, in open ideology. Next. Okay, this is the reference, and thank you.